A gorgeous day in Portland, Oregon as temps reach 50 degrees in the Rose City, but we're indoors for a West Coast Conference matchup between the Santa Clara Broncos and the Portland Pilots. The Pilots look to get back to 500 in league play. Meanwhile, the Broncos, they look to continue their hot start in the WCC. Welcome inside the Child Center. I'm Brian Slyke, joined by my broadcast partner, Jennifer Mountain, and we've got your call today. These two teams, they've had some terrific performances over the last couple of seasons. Buzzer beaters for both teams on the opposing courts, season sweeps for both teams, but it's 2022, Jen. Anything goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I expect a great matchup. Both teams have a lot of size inside. You know, rebounding, I think, is going to be a huge factor. Both teams have great guard play, so it's really going to come down to defensive stops and then efficiency on the offensive end from both squads.
You're talking about efficiency on the offensive end, and rebounding is also a big one, and nobody does it better for Santa Clara than Merle Veal.
Merle Veal, and we're going to call her M. Preseason All-WCC pick. She's fourth in rebounding halfway through. You know, second leading scorer, super versatile. She can play inside out. She's that stretch four, so she becomes kind of a hard matchup for people. Santa Clara really needs her to get going early today.
It's never easy to win inside the Child Center. So what do the Broncos need to do to pull it off today, Jen?
Number one, they got to take care of the basketball. They're going to, get hit with that press all day long, push tempo, and then get points in transition. Talking to Coach Carr, he wants to run with these guys a little bit. And then in the half court, make them defend them. Run their stuff, be efficient, and defend. And then lastly, rebounding. They've got a lot of kids that can really board well. They've got to do a good job today.
On the Pilot side of things, she's been a force since she got on the bluff, and that's Alex Fowler.
All conference kid, leads the team in scoring and rebounding, super versatile. I mean, she does it all. She's expanded her game a little bit, shooting the three a little bit more often. Portland really needs her to get off to the start she did the other night against Gonzaga. I thought she did a great job of taking it to them right from the get-go. They're going to need that today from her.
Well, the Pilots are trying to bounce back after that loss to Gonzaga. How do they get that win today?
Number one is take care of and take away the three-point line. Santa Clara does shoot it pretty well. They want to get off to a great start and play with really good energy. And then really, talking to Coach Meek, they want to put 40 minutes of good play together. They've had stretches where they played really well, efficient, and really hard for 40 minutes. And then lastly, it's that rebound margin. That's going to be a huge key today, and we're going to pay attention to that all the way through the game.
I think we've got a great one brewing here inside the Child Center, so don't you go anywhere. We've got a great WCC game in your future. We've got afternoon basketball on the Bluff, starters and tip on the other side. Welcome back onto the campus of the University of Portland. Opening tip just a few minutes away inside the Child Center between Santa Clara and the Portland Pilots. Starting lineups were just announced, so let's get you the starting five for both sides. For Santa Clara, it's going to be Bryce Nixon, Laura Edmondson, Lindsay Van Allen, Ashley Hiraki, and Merle Veal. But Van Allen is somebody you also need to focus on for Santa Clara.
Absolutely. I mean, she was a WCC Player of the Week last week, averaging almost 70 points a game. Really can score in a hurry. So Portland's got to do a good job of locating her early.
Meanwhile, for the Pilots, Emmy Shear, Haley Andrews, Maddie Molheim, Alex Fowler, and Lucy Cochran. But Haley Andrews moving her way up in a lot of the lists here at Portland.
She really is, and she's the engine that makes these guys go, and she's so talented. I really think she's got to have a really quick start offensively tonight, maybe look for her shot a little bit quicker, but she is the engine that really makes these Pilots go.
Opening tip won by the Pilots. Portland in their white uniforms, Portland in purple across the chest, Santa Clara in their maroon tops, and Santa Clara in white across the chest.
Well, right off the bat, out in man-to-man, and great mid-range jumper right there from Cochran. That's a great shot for her free throw line jumper, and she's got a nice touch.
Yeah, she found a lot of success against Gonzaga at that elbow spot. Santa Clara getting through that press put on by the Pilots.
And he talked about that with us, and the fact that once the ball handlers get past that, just being efficient in the half court and running their stuff and getting great shots.
Haraki puts up the three. Back iron rebound by Fowler, rips it away from Edmondson. Get a sense we might have a very physical game here inside the Child Center, and Boeheim comes up short, and Fowler gets the offensive board.
Well, right from the beginning, you can see Alex Fowler on the boards both ends, and that's going to be a huge factor.
She needs 10 rebounds coming into today's game to crack the top 10 in program history. As this one goes out of bounds, it'll stay with the Pilots, though.
Well, she's just had a terrific start to her career, and a lot of time left, obviously, but look for her to break a lot of records coming into this.
Of course, with the COVID season last year, everybody getting that extra year of eligibility, so technically she's a sophomore in the eyes of the NCAA. Andrews with three on the shot clock, momentarily lost it, put the shot up, it's short, and rebound for the Broncos.
I don't mind her taking that, taking that look. She does such a good job of getting into the paint, and really that's where most of her points are scored, is it's just posting people up from that point guard spot.
Veal lost the handle, gave it out to Van Allen, off the mark on the three. Van Allen had 17 points in their win against LMU on Thursday. Back to Veal. And there's the first three for Santa Clara.
Well, there's that versatility that we're talking about. I mean, she's kind of we talked to Coach Carr, more of a guard. And, she's playing the stretch four for them, so she'll play inside out. But whoever's guarding her defensively has got to put a hand up and get out.
Good
Nice
look inside to Fowler. Really just sealed off her defender to get the good spot underneath the hoop.
Yeah, those two really do such a great job of feeding off each other. Great little high-low. And when you have two options like that, good things are going to happen for you paint production-wise.
Broncos just get it across the timeline. Van Allen now 0 for 2. Offensive board, Broncos.
Well, second chance points. I mean, Portland's got to do a good job of putting bodies on people and not giving up boards. They're going to shoot the three early in the clock.
Well, all four shots for Santa Clara have come from beyond the arc early on in this first quarter. And there's a fifth one. That one's an air ball. And trying to save that one was Bryce Nixon, the transfer from Arizona.
And Coach Carr's been really, he says a lot of good things about Nixon just coming in and really, as of late, adding a lot to the team. Very versatile, can shoot the ball a little bit, and just those hustle plays that sometimes, don't show up in a stat category.
Carr in his 6th season leading the Broncos, 72 and 79 in his career. Good movement by the Pilots, and Fowler will not pick up the foul. It'll be Haraki who does. She'll pick up the blocking foul, her first, team's first.
Well, Haraki did a great job of being set. I'm not sure if her foot was in the back of that restricted circle or not. It kind of looked like it from my angle, but great job of anticipating that. A lot of times, all the different sets that Portland runs, it's hard to prepare for everything, and she kind of saw that coming, so great job defensively.
Yeah, she saw two players just loop around near the elbow to come back inside, and Fowler hits the free throw. She struggled at the line against Gonzaga, missing some key free throws down the stretch. Now 2-point lead for Portland. Haraki picks up her dribble. Shearer on defense.
Great job of a high hedge there by Fowler and then backed off. I thought they were going to trap her for a second, but good job defensively.
Hollingsworth got blocked. Got the ball back. There's 3 on the shot clock. Van Allen has to put up a prayer. Just got underneath the hoop. Should say hit the bottom part of the rim, so they didn't have a shot clock violation. The offensive board and put back.
Well, Coach Meek wants a shot clock violation, but from here I could see it just hit that front edge. But more importantly, just not getting the defensive board there for Portland and giving them opportunities.
Right now, Santa Clara has 3 offensive rebounds early on. Moheim got the defender to go by, puts up another shot, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Well, I'll tell you, she really needed that. Just get herself going a little bit. Man can shoot the ball just all year long. The team has struggled from the three-point line.
And a great defense of effort right there by the Pilots, forcing a 5-second call on the sideline. And with that last three, Maddie Moheim has now eclipsed the 1,000-point club. She sits at 1,001 career points, and there's another look at that three-point basket.
Really great, just on balance. Good footwork.
The all-time three-point leader in Portland history. Good dish by Fowler, but Cochran's shot was blocked by Edmondson.
Yeah, good extra pass there inside. Cochran just didn't anticipate getting blocked right there.
Veal hitting her second three. She's got 6 points.
Well, we talked about it in the open as, you know, defending the three-point line is going to be a key, and right now they're just getting too easy of looks.
She shoots nearly 36% from beyond the arc. She's averaging 12.3 points on the season, and she's already got 6, and we're not even halfway through the first quarter. Tough pass by Cochran behind Andrews leads to a turnover. Veal in the paint, left hand, short. Haley Andrews goes up for the rebound, gets it. Edmondson will be called for the foul.
I don't think Veal expected to be as open as she was right there. Kind of short-handed it, going to the rim.
That is Edmonton's first personal foul, the second one on the Broncos.
You're going to see a little 1-2-2 of their own here, trying to put a little pressure on Portland. You know, like I said, he talked to us about wanting to kind of run in transition with these guys. He wants to pick up the tempo.
The Pilots get 4 new bodies on the court. Bruno, Meek, Burnham, and Flug on the court. Fowler, the only one that stayed on. Kicks it out to Bruno. Get back to Fowler. 5 on the shot clock. Tough take. Foul will be called. Danya Stafford was on the defense. She'll get called for the foul, and the team's third for Santa Clara.
Well, Stafford just got buried deep down low, and if Fowler's going to get that kind of position down low, you're going to have a hard time stopping her.
And that'll bring us to the media. We're all tied up at 8. 4:40 left to go in the first quarter. Maddie Moheim, the newest member of the 1,000-point club for the Portland Pilots. Welcome back inside the Child Center. We got a close one early on here in the first quarter. 8 points to each side for Santa Clara and for Portland. As Alex Fowler heading to the line, she got fouled. just before the media break, but something we need to talk about right now for Santa Clara. They're down a couple of their key players in Lexi Pritchard and Ashley Maldonado, both dealing with lower body injuries and unable to participate in today's game.
Yeah, I mean, Pritchard is a local kid, would have loved to have had her, and Maldonado, you know, ACL injury, and, you know, they're definitely missing those two. Anytime you're dealing with injuries, you got to rework things, and Santa Clara right now, you know, they missed the first 4 opening conference play because of COVID issues, but I think they've done a nice job of people stepping up and finding the roles and doing a good job.
Yeah, when we were talking with Coach Carr earlier this week, he talked about how his team just hasn't really been 100% healthy all season, whether it's injuries or dealing with COVID. But again, that's probably something you could say with all the teams in the WCC so far. Veal again, her 3rd triple.
I think you could probably say that for most teams around the country. I mean, every single team is dealing with, you know, COVID issues, postponements, cancellations, and, you know, on top of that, you have injuries. So it's been a difficult year, and one that's been, I think, in the last few weeks, unexpected a little bit.
Veal now 3 for 3 from behind the arc. The team as a whole for Santa Clara, 3 for 8. Burnham shot off the back of the iron and over the backboard.
A little unlucky right there. She's got a nice little free throw line jumper.
You and I were talking in the open about how big rebounding was going to be for both sides. And right now, Santa Clara stepping up to the challenge. 5 rebounds, a couple offensive boards. That's led to 5 points for them. And they've just done a good job of converting those rebounds into points for second chance opportunities.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a huge stat as we move along here. I mean, we're very early into this game, but, you know, 5 second chance points off 3 offensive boards. Between that and them shooting the ball really efficient from the 3-point line, you know, got to do a little bit better job defensively if you're Portland.
Van Allen off balance, able to get the floater to go. Portland, no field goals in the last 2.5 minutes.
You can kind of see how Santa Clara is using a little 3-quarter court back, just kind of slowing the tempo, not necessarily making, you know, a trapping situation or trying to turn the ball over, just short clock in the half court for Portland.
Fowler versus Stafford, 2 bodies hit the ground. It'll stay with the Pilots. Liana Kai-Tu'u and Lucy Cochran checking in. Meanwhile, Lana Hollingsworth will head to the bench. Ashley Hiraki comes out onto the court. Haley Andrews also back on the floor. Fowler, Burnham, and Flug to the bench.
Little chess game here going on by both coaches. Matchup issues.
They'll take the outlet to Cochran.
Short clock.
5 on the shot clock. Kai-Tu'u is going to have to move. She lost control. 1 on the shot clock, and that'll be it. It almost seemed like nobody was communicating that to her. She had no idea that it was under 3 seconds.
Yeah, tough situation, subbing in. You got to know time and score situation when you're coming in, but just, you know, mishandled that ball a little bit and just didn't have time to get it off.
Bruno cutting off Hiraki. She picks up her dribble. She's trapped in the corner. Just gets it away to Bryce Nixon. And almost worked out in the Pilots' favor with Kai-Tu'u and Bruno trapping. Broncos swing it around the outside. Nixon gets it to Stafford, going up against Cochran. And Lucy Cochran will be called for her first and the team's first in this quarter.
Cochran just need to stay a little bit more vertical on that. Had position down low, you know, she's going to play behind the entire time. If you're 6'6" and you got that arm span, you're going to look to block any shot coming in, but certainly don't want her picking up early fouls.
She's just such a presence inside. I mean, you and I talked off the air, but that first game against Gonzaga, you really thought that she would have played a big difference just having her presence inside, and we saw it in their second matchup just a few nights ago.
Absolutely. I mean, I thought that she just altered, you know, what Gonzaga was trying to do inside, not necessarily shot blocking itself, but just altering shots. And I don't think Gonzaga's post players really looked to score the way they did when the Pilots were here, or when Gonzaga was here.
Stafford 1 for 2 on the free throws, missing the jumper right there.
And, you know, this is a team that leads the conference in free throw shooting in just under 80%. Certainly don't want to put them to the line today.
Well, so far, only one foul on the Pilots, and that one might, nope, they're going to say she dribbled off the end line and out of bounds, so that'll be a turnover. That's the 5th turnover now for Portland in the last 4.5 minutes.
Well, you know, Portland has been plagued at times with turnovers throughout the season. It's something that I think they've done as of late, taking much better care of the basketball. And, you know, you don't want it to be open court turnovers. That right there, you know, dead ball situation, make them play defense, or offense, excuse me. But certainly want that total to go down.
Edmondson trying to create some space. The left hand, no good. And a tip from Hollingsworth over Andrews. And Hollingsworth will get called for over the back.
Well, good job of just putting your body on somebody and blocking out by Andrews. And that's what they're going to need by everybody.
Well, we're so used to seeing Andrews do that on the offensive side, getting position down there. But right there, good job sealing off the defender.
Again, here's that three-quarter court, and it's really a time thing. So Portland gets in the half court, and they got 20 seconds to go.
Veal trying to pick it from behind. Cochran driving right hand, and we got a blocking foul. Cochran will head to the line. And that one's on Hiraki, her second.
And she's really comfortable with that high post drive, one dribble move to the rim, and, you know, just inside, a little bit late getting there. And great finish by Cochran.
Anna Johnson checking in, along with Bryce Nixon for Santa Clara. Van Allen and Hiraki to the bench. Cochran at the line. 53.8% free throw shooter. And a sophomore from Melbourne, Australia, sinks the free throw. Pilots are trailing by 2.
She's just been a great addition. Such a great fit for her personally, and you just love to see kids succeed. And
2-on-1, Edmondson against Andrews, back to Veal, and she missed it. It'll stay with the Broncos, though, and Veal looks to be shaken up on the play, slow getting up on the near side of the paint.
Well, you hate to see that.
One of the Broncos' best players, slow getting up, but seems like she's walking it off right now, and she'll head to the bench. Van Allen checking back in. Here's a replay. And it looked like she got knocked off balance by Lucy Cochran coming in after the shot.
Yeah, I didn't see anything going up, but, you know, coming down, like you said, her leg kind of got hit. Again, you hate to see that happen. Hopefully she's going to walk it off and be just fine here.
Seems to be doing okay as she walks. She's now over at the exercise bike. Great pass inside to Fowler. She can't finish, though. Offensive board, cleans it up there.
Great look inside from the high-low, and, you know, an unfortunate miss, but a great job of following your shot, getting an offensive board and a putback.
Full court pressure put on by the Pilots. Van Allen with it now. Pilots trailing by 2. 20 seconds left in the quarter. About 3.5 seconds between shot clock and game clock. And now that won't matter. Emmy Shear picks up the foul, her first, team second.
Just a little too much body on that.
No more shot clock, 16.9 left to go in the quarter.
And I like what Portland's doing on their on ball. I mean, they're jumping it, either high hedging or looking like they're going to trap and then backing off a little bit, but it's pushing Santa Clara a little bit higher outside the three-point line, outside of where they're comfortable to shoot.
Bruno back into the game. Hard-nosed defender for Portland.
Here it comes again. Nice.
There's the trap. Nixon with it, picks up her dribble. Hollingsworth now. Anna Johnson going baseline. 1 second left on the clock. And Andrews cut her off going baseline. The shot no good. And the Pilots trail by 2 at the end of 1. 16-14. I thought we were going to have a close one, Jen, and just like it, we're 1 quarter down, 2 points separating these two teams. We'll be right back on the other side for the start of the second quarter. Pilot bench right now. They're trailing by 2 at the start of the second quarter. Brian Slyke and Jennifer Mountain with your call. And we're looking at some of the stats right now, Jen, and rebounding was going to be a big part of this game. And right now, the Pilots have a slim lead by 4, 9-5 in that category.
They did a tremendous job, probably the last 3.5 minutes of that first quarter, of really making it an effort, especially on the defensive end. Santa Clara had 3 offensive boards, I think, at the immediate timeout. That's what they ended the quarter with, and they lead 9-5. Portland leads 9-5 overall.
Well, Laura Edmondson was the big one on the boards for the Broncos, and Haley Andrews with the steal.
Good
and
anticipation.
The finish.
Good anticipation by Andrews.
It's nice to see the Pilots turn it on early. I've seen a couple of games where the first half started a bit slow. Second half is when they really turned it on. But right now, the Pilots hanging tough, tied at 16.
Yeah, I think the energy level is great. And I love, like I said, I love what they're doing with the on-ball trapping a little bit, trying to make something happen.
Van Allen making sure she was behind the line, but misses it there, and the loose ball just out of the hands of MJ Bruno, so it'll stay with Santa Clara. Now, it did not make contact with the rim. There's only 8 on the shot clock.
Yeah, it should be a short clock here. Just unfortunate mishandle there at the end. Ball goes out of bounds, but again, Portland's doing a great job energy-wise of making things happen. They just got to make sure they're not giving up open looks.
Here's the inbound for the Broncos. Back out to Lana Hollingsworth. Going up against Molheim. All iron. We'll see who the foul is on. And that'll be on Lucy Cochran. That's her second personal foul.
I don't know. I thought she had inside per position right there, and obviously the officials saw something different than I did.
Here's another look at it. The shot from Hollingsworth. And maybe it's that arm that's up near the head area. I'm not quite sure. I didn't see much on that one.
Yeah, I mean, both players doing about the same thing, so.
Nixon trying to inbound it, just gets it in before the 5-second call. Stafford with it. Going up against Fowler. Burnham, good job with the help side D on the back side.
We got numbers right here, 4 on 5.
See if they notice it. Burnham's gonna take it herself. Can't get it, offensive board, Fowler.
Great follow by Fowler.
She's done that a couple of times already today.
Yeah, she's been terrific so far in this game.
She's got 3 offensive rebounds. She's got 5 rebounds to go along with 8 points now. Hollingsworth trapped by Bruno and Molheim. I'm not sure how she didn't lose that one.
I agree, lucky not to give that one away.
Van Allen got Andrews to jump. The 3, no good. Burnham rebound. Van Allen has been cold from beyond the arc. She's 0 for 5. And mind you, she's the 3rd best 3-point shooter in the conference. Molheim will pick up the slack on the other side, though, for the Pilots.
Well, like I mentioned before, I mean, if Maddie Molheim can get going from the 3-point line, good things are going to happen for Portland. They had just struggled so much as a team. Great addition, and hopefully she can get it going.
Hollingsworth rattles one home. Yeah, Molheim shooting 30.1% coming into today. Van Allen almost at 43%. She shoots at 42.9 on the season. And again, she's 0 for 5 from behind the arc.
Well, and as a team, Portland has really struggled from the 3-point line, shooting 22%.
Yeah, bottom of the conference.
But if they can get that thing changed around and get going, good things, you know, certainly, I really feel like they have better shooters than the percentages actually showing.
Absolutely, as that ball poked away from Bruno, but it'll stay with the Pilots. Kiwi Frawley getting her first action now, and Emmy Shearer into the game. And you bring up a great point. We talked with Coach Meek on multiple occasions. It just seems like as soon as this team really starts to hit a couple of shots, they're going to be unbelievably dangerous, as Fowler with the tough shot underneath.
Well, they're just so efficient in the paint, and they have so many weapons. You know, you start hitting perimeter jumpers, it opens things up for a lot of different people inside, so.
Maisie Burnham picks up that foul. And that'll be the second one on the Pilots in this quarter, her first.
I really like this lineup that he has in right now. I mean, a lot of energy, length, athleticism. You know, Frawley comes in and just adds that energy and rebounds like crazy.
And she's all about the hustle points. That's partially why she's a fan favorite. Ball slips out of the hands of Haraki. Easy steal for Andrews, splitting the defenders. Oh, what a finish. No foul call, though.
Yeah, I thought there was body on the finish right there. And Santa Clara is going to take a great time out here. Regroup.
Yeah, the Pilots now have a 7-point lead. 25-18, 7:07 left to go in the quarter. Andrews picking up that loose ball and finishing on the other end. Welcome back inside the Child Center. Pilots just roaring back over the last couple of minutes, have taken a lead. They now lead 25-18. And we talked with Coach Carr earlier this week, and one of the things that really stuck out to me, he talked about Andrews and Fowler. Almost nightmare fuel for him, and Fowler already 10 points early on in this game.
I think they're nightmares for a lot of teams. I mean, this dynamic duo has really, production-wise, been, you know, the blood for Portland for the last few years, and they just complement each other so well. And just, you know, Fowler off to a great start tonight. I mean, we mentioned it in the open. She had a great start against Gonzaga, and I think it's huge for Portland.
Yeah, with her 10 points, she only needed 7 coming into today to crack the top 10 all-time in UP scoring. So now she's on that list.
Well, and we mentioned she's only halfway through her career, so.
And the fastest Pilot ever to 1,000 points. Yep. And the jump ball will go towards Portland.
You know, it's funny sometimes, you know, I felt like she hasn't looked for her shot a lot early in contests, and we've talked to Coach Meek about that a little bit. Just kind of, she's just unselfish. She was trying to get her teammates involved, and I think the last couple of weeks here, she's really taken it upon herself to get these guys going, and I think it's really a great attribute that she's learning and growing.
Kaitu with it, gives it up to Frawley. Burnham fighting for position in the paint. I think they got a foul on Van Allen. They do. That'll be Van Allen's first and the team's first in this quarter.
Well, good job by Burnham, because she has a size advantage right there, and she's kind of a hard matchup for people because she's a longer guard, and we've seen Portland, you know, in the guard spot posting people up left and right. So great job of holding her ground and picking up a foul.
Burnham's got 2 inches on Van Allen. She stands at 5'11". Pass back inside. Now Veal on Burnham. The Big Sky freshman of the year.
Well, and again, I mean, I felt like there was body on that shot. You know, not up above, but, you know, certainly lower body.
One thing you and I were talking about is getting the bench more involved for the Pilots. They struggled against Gonzaga, and they really struggled against USF in their last home win. It's Kaitu getting inside of the paint, and the Pilots producing again. They've got 16 points in the paint so far.
Well, and a great job by Liana just coming in off the bench, and that's a one dribble strong move. Great finish, and that's exactly what the bench needs to do.
And Frawley picks up the foul. She slapped that ball away from Van Allen. Now we've got some of the fans chirping over at the referee. Frawley will pick up that one, the third on the team, her first.
Well, I got to tell you, this is a veteran officials group here, and they've done a great job for many years, and some of the best around.
Hollingsworth inbounds. Yeah, the referees, Anita Ortega, Alejandro Morena, and Shelly Nakasone. And we're familiar with a couple of those faces. We've seen them a lot inside the Child Center. Great pass to Edmondson. Almost Willie Mays catch that one, but she turns it over.
Great job by Burnham on that backside guard spot, just anticipating and going and grabbing it.
She's done that a couple of times with the backside help. And Edmondson getting called for the foul. That'll be her first, the team's second. And here's another look. Yep, you got Burnham just snatching it away from behind.
Yeah, well, you see from that top guard spot, just sliding down in the zone, and you know this. She had no idea she was coming, and just a great job and a great takeaway.
The give and go back to Andrews. Circles around, back in the paint. Oh, but the left hand doesn't go. Hard fall. Burnham there to check up on Danya Stafford. Frawley will pick up her second personal foul in about as many minutes. So now 4 on the Pilots, and they have to be careful. The next foul will put Santa Clara on the line for 2 automatic shots.
Yeah, a lot of time left in this quarter. You certainly don't want to give up points at the free throw line. You know, like I said, leading the WCC in free throw percentage.
At 76.8%. Portland on a 6-0 run over the last 2 minutes. 3 turnovers for Santa Clara in that span.
And I really feel like, you know, the intensity defensively that Portland has displayed has really thrown Santa Clara off. Great timing right there as Van Allen knocks one down.
She now has 6 points in the contest, 3 for 8 from the field. Again, 0 for 5 from beyond the arc. She shoots at nearly 43%. Shear inside to Burnham. The quick passing from the Pilots got them inside, and now Burnham falls out of bounds.
Well, the one thing that, you know, we haven't talked about is defensively, you know, Portland leads the conference in defensive field goal percentage from the three-point line. So, you know, that's right there putting a lot of pressure on teams, and their percentages have gone way down.
As MJ Bruno, Mikkel Meek check in, Frawley and Shearer to the bench. Cochran just checked in as well. Stafford, Van Allen, Nixon, Hiraki, and Hollingsworth on the court for Santa Clara. As that ball touched by Portland, it'll stay with the Broncos. Under 5 to go until halftime. 7-point lead for the Pilots. 19 of the 27 points right now for the Pilots on the court between Andrews, Fowler, and Cochran.
Well, anytime we talk to opposing coaches, they always talk about, you know, the two and, you know, trying to make other people beat them. And we talked about bench production. So far today, I think the bench has come in and done some really good things.
Tough shot, and we have a jump ball called. It'll stay with the Broncos. For a moment there, Bruno thought she got called for a foul.
I did too, actually. MJ just brings so much energy and defensive energy, constant, like moving. I don't think she's ever had a bad day.
And Van Allen knocking down another elbow jumper. She's got 8.
That's just smooth, Brian. I mean, nice little mid-range jumper.
Well, one thing, going back to MJ Bruno, one thing you have to realize is when she was in high school, she was doing everything. She was working down in the paint, working out beyond the three-point line as a guard, and now here at UP, they're putting her more in the guard position. And you know, shooting is improving for her, but she knows that defense is what's going to get her on the court.
Well, she played with the Hull twins.
Santa Clara will get the ball.
Yeah, like I was saying, the Hull twins that are at Stanford right now won a national championship last year. So, you know, those guys, you know, she had a little bit different role in high school, and you got 2 All-Americans playing with you. But, I mean, great experience, had a great program, won championships, and you know, she's going to do a lot of good things. She was plagued with a little bit of an injury to start the year, which kind of kept her out of the lineup a little bit.
Good ball movement right there by Santa Clara as Hiraki got trapped deep on her side of the court, found Danya Stafford alone on the other side, and then a little hot potato between the two, ends up in an easy basket.
Yeah, just nice awareness and great passing by Santa Clara. feel like we've had a lot of bodies on the ground today so far.
And a travel called. You know, Portland was just on a 6-0 run, and now they're currently on a 2.5-minute drought scoring-wise. It's Santa Clara who's now on a 6-0 run.
And 4 of 5 from the field in the last few minutes here.
Shearer back into the game. Meek to the bench. Rose Flug also back on the court. MJ Bruno to the bench. Well, Pilots have been causing trouble on this side of the court for Santa Clara. They've had a couple of heaves just to try to beat the backcourt violation.
Yeah, I think like after the first 3 minutes, the pressure has really picked up in the full and half by Portland, and Santa Clara has at times adjusted and at times really struggled with it.
Veal's perfect from beyond the arc today. Gives it up to Van Allen. There's 6 on the shot clock. She's driving, gets past Fowler, runs into Cochran, kicks it out to Hiraki.
Good drive and dish. You know, she kind of got in there with the trees and good find and a decent shot, just didn't fall for him.
Fowler trying to get position on Veal. Oh, she does it again. She now has 12 points, and Fowler playing out of her mind early on.
Well, you give her position like that and she gets that deep in the paint, not too many times is she going to miss that, but I just feel like there's a lot of body that's being missed, you know, down low.
Refs letting the women play today. And there's a foul on Bryce Nixon. That'll be Nixon's first and the team's third.
Well, there's that hesitation dribble that Andrews is so good at. Just kind of gets you to pause for a second and then off she goes. And a lot of people get caught on that, and she got handsy. Easy call for the official.
And Emily Sewell checking in for the first time. Lucy Cochran will head to the bench. And that's a big pickup for Coach Meek. He didn't have Sewell, he didn't have Kai Tu'u in the Gonzaga game, and now they're back with some extra bodies.
Yep, COVID protocol and injuries. You know, we've talked about it over and over, and Portland certainly had their share.
Yeah, it feels like that just hasn't really ended all season for them, as Veal, a strong take into the paint, finishing with the right hand.
She's been super impressive so far for Santa Clara, scoring inside out, and then we talked about what a hard matchup she was going to be, and certainly 11 points in this first half so far.
Season high is 23. Fowler doing the dirty work, getting the offensive board, but can't get the putback.
Great job of getting position.
Sewell on defense against Stafford, and Stafford got the best of her underneath. Pilots just 1 for their last 7. Meanwhile, Santa Clara 4 of their last 5, and the Broncos trailing by 1 with just 1:15 left to go until halftime.
Well, we knew this was going to be a close one, and you know, basketball's a game of runs. It's how you respond to them. And good
Andrews
job.
Fighting for that board, and it'll stay with the Pilots.
Good hustle by Andrews right there, getting a hand on that and giving them another opportunity.
We always talk about it. The rebounding is all about effort, and Andrews there with 2 Broncos on her, still able to get that offensive board.
Yep, effort and heart. I mean, you know, sometimes some players just have a knack for where the ball is going to be. I think Dennis Rodman was a great example of that.
Absolutely.
And it's just you got to play hard and you got to attack the rim and relentless on the boards. I mean, those types of players, they're super valuable.
Fowler has it, gives it to Kai Tu'u, who had positioning on Edmondson, and tipped out of her hand. Correct call by the referee. $50 seconds left until halftime. Shearer on defense. Van Allen with it. Back to Nixon. Past Shearer. The give to the other side of the paint. And the foul called on Rose Flug. That'll be her first.
Well, you can see Rose dropping. She just dropped behind the offensive player instead of in front from that backside guard spot.
Santa Clara is into the bonus.
And yep, that'll be the 5th team foul. So 2 shots for Santa Clara. And you know what? For the Pilots, they had 4 fouls with about 5:40 left to go in the quarter, and they did a good job of not fouling until just now with over 30 seconds left until halftime.
You're absolutely right. I mean, We talked about the free throw percentage for Santa Clara and just how well they shoot as a group. So that's playing good defense and keeping your hands off.
Edmondson, a 69% free throw shooter. Again, this team is shooting at 76.8% on the season, and Edmondson goes 2 for 2. And with how close this game is, the free throw line could be the difference in this game.
It could, and like I said, I feel like there's some body contact not being called, so they're letting him play a little bit. But free throws down the road could certainly, you know, free throws, turnovers, the little tiny things really add up over a 40-minute span.
Santa Clara is on a 12-2 run over the last 5 minutes, and they now have a 1-point lead with 20 seconds until halftime. About a second and a half between shot clock and game clock. Andrews looks up at it. And they give back to her. They got Mulheim. She's hit 2 already, and the foul on Anna Johnson, so Mulheim will go to the line for 3.
And you can see Coach Carr, just his whole heart just fell right there. Just can't foul a three-point shooter like that, and got caught on the down screen there. Great execution by Portland.
It's a good offensive set right there.
Yep.
Mulheim is 75% free throw shooter.
We'll get a chance to take a look at it here, and yep.
Hard body when Mulheim was coming down.
Yep. Just got to let him land.
And Mulheim perfect, 3 for 3. And she now has 9 points. Mind you, she's averaging just over 6 points, 6.2 on the season.
Nice half for her so far.
And that'll end it. Too many dribbles by Santa Clara, and that'll run out the clock. And because of the 3 free throws by Maddie Mulheim, that puts the Pilots up at half. They lead 32-30. We'll be back. Talk about the first half when we return.
Disappointment and adversity can be catalysts for greatness. Kathy Freeman.
Somewhere behind the athlete you've become, and the hours of practices, and the coaches who have pushed you, is a little girl who fell in love with the game and never looked back. Play for her. Mia Hamm.
I'd rather regret the risks that didn't work out than the chances I didn't take at all. Simone Biles.
It's not necessarily about outworking the person across from me. It's outworking that voice inside of my head that says, I'm too tired, I don't feel like doing it, I can settle. Maya Moore.
With a defeat, when you lose, you get up, you make it better, you try again. That's what I do in life. When I get down, when I get sick, I don't want to just stop. Everyone always says never give up, but you really have to take that to heart and really do never definitely give up. Keep trying. Serena Williams.
Champions keep playing until they get it right. Billie Jean King.
In the midst of an ordinary training day, I try to remind myself that I'm preparing for the extraordinary.
I felt like Portland was a gold mine waiting to be tapped into. This place wants to win. There's a lot of support behind us. We just have to put in the work and go do it now.
Because we had so many new guys, it was all a new experience for everybody. It was kind of just a bonding experience. Now we are in an entirely new environment, under new coaching, and we kind of get to journey through it together.
He's been in our shoes, exactly where we're at as far as being a player before.
Why Portland? Why is this the right time for you?
It's the perfect time, man. It's a sleeping giant here. This is not, it's going to be a very, very special job, and it's going to be a special place where people want to come and watch and play basketball here.
That's where we want to be. We want to be slept on like that, and we want people to doubt us because that'll just fuel our fire so much more.
Just having a loud crowd and people that you know are invested in us wanting to win just gives us an extra gear to be able to go to and feed off the crowd.
Just keep grinding. Wow, what a stick by Robertson.
I'll beat my chest. I'll point out to the crowd and stuff. I'm very much like legs in the sense I play with my heart on my sleeve. Yeah, he's definitely going to be up and down. He's one of those coaches that just doesn't sit down.
The coaching staff from Shantae down to TJ, Bobby, and Pope really do care about their players.
Not only the players, but also the people we are as well. And that connection is so strong. We feel like we're the family, and nothing is hidden from one another.
Coaches have gone out and found talented guys, but also guys that you want to be in the locker room with and really hang out, and bringing that all together, you're going to see the results on the court for sure.
Everyone has helped build the culture that we have now.
Steps back, the three. Oh! Christian Sholin giving the Pilots the huge 1-point lead.
Every year, the non-conference is really good for us to figure out the rotations, figure out guys' roles, and it's really good that we're playing a tough non-conference. We usually try to do that to have ourselves battle-tested.
Answers with the triple, and it is a new career high for Christian.
You know, if you go into somewhere and you don't think you can win, then you shouldn't be playing. I think we could beat anybody, and that's the mentality that our team will have. So we're going to play anybody if they want to play us.
Good defense.
Great defense by Naduka. How clever was that?
We just want to establish ourselves, iron out the kinks in preseason play. We're going to play competitive teams. We're going to test ourselves so you get ready for conference play.
This is going to be our first year, so everybody's going to be gauging. I believe we can win. I'm never going to count my guys out. I'm going to stand behind my guys 100%. If I believe that we can win the conference, then why not?
Why not be able to finish number one? It's obviously what we came here to do. We know GU's great, BYU's great, LMU's gotten better again this year. Thinking they're just going to win, it's just going to be another year against Portland, but they're definitely going to have a rude awakening coming.
When I say trust me, we're going to get there, trust me, and it's going to be sooner than later.
Well, we knew it was going to be a tough matchup before this game even started. Right now, it's a 2-point lead for the Pilots over the Santa Clara Broncos, and it's tight. 6 lead changes, 5 times it's been tied. We knew what we were expecting, but your thoughts on the first half there, Jennifer?
Well, game of runs. I mean, both teams win in scoring droughts. Both teams win on runs and efficient at both ends of the floor. A lot of the stats are, pretty comparable. Points in the paint right now for Portland, over half their points, 18 of 32 points right now, and Alex Fowler's been a huge part of that. She had a great first half, and, her with Mulheim, I mean, those two right now are really leading them offensively. You look at some of the other stats, that rebounding category that we talked about. Santa Clara kind of came back there, had 7 offensive boards, and leads 16 to 15, but it's tight, and we kind of talked about that margin all the way through this game. That's going to be a key.
Yeah, you talked about Maddie Mulheim playing a big part in that first half. I mean, she had 9 points. She's averaging 6.2 on the season, and she's the reason why the Pilots have a lead right now.
Well, she really got it going from the three-point line, and that's something that Portland has drastically needed all season long. And, hit 2 from the top there, and then got, called for that foul right there at the end of the half, and big free throws. And, if she can continue getting this going offensively from the three-point line, great things are going to happen for Portland.
I was going to say, they were missing her against Gonzaga. No points in that game, but right now turning it up for the Pilots. Let's take a look at some of those stats in the first half between these two. You talked about the rebounding category, 16 to 15 in favor of the Pilots right now. But
I mean, you look at field goal percentage like we talked about. This game is so tight, really close there in the lower 40s. But I think one of the big stats right there to look at is, Portland's only taken 3 3-point shots, and they've struggled from the three-point line. So I think they've done a nice job of adjusting, trying to do different things. And you look at, Santa Clara's 3 for 11, and really their 3 were in the very, very beginning of the game. I thought the defensive energy and pressure from Portland has really changed what they're trying to do offensively, and they've taken that away. And Mike talked about that with us. Defending the three-point line is going to be a huge key. But turnovers, I thought Portland did a nice job. They had 5 turnovers after that first quarter, only 6 for the half. Both teams with 6, and that's, and that's decent. And assists. I mean, that's sharing the basketball and getting good looks for your teammates.
Yeah, both teams averaging about 15 turnovers a game, so seeing them down in the single digits at 6 is good for both sides. Second half just about to start in a little over 3 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. hard-fought first half between these two, and we're just a couple seconds away from the start of the third quarter. 32-30, Pilots are leading Santa Clara. And Jen, we looked at the stats at the halftime, but the other thing that really stood out to me, the second chance points for Santa Clara and then the bench production between both sides.
Absolutely. I mean, the 7 offensive boards ended up into 9 second chance points for Santa Clara, and bench play is 7-2 in Santa Clara's favor. And we talked about the fact that Coach Meek plays a ton of players, and there's a big rotation, so they're going to get minutes. It's just they've got to have some production out of it as well.
Talking with him earlier in the week, some of it's just some confidence issues coming back from injuries at some poor times. They had the injuries at the beginning of the season, just never really got into a flow. Great feed to Andrews to Cochran, but she can't finish it.
Nice little pick and roll by Fowler and Andrews, and then had Cochran in that short corner area. That's a good look for Lucy. That's the shot she can make.
Cochran against Gonzaga had 13 points. She's got 5 points tonight.
I would anticipate Andrews and Cochran really kind of getting more involved on the offensive end for Portland.
Off balance shot by Van Allen. It's Veal who came down with it, and a partial block by Cochran, kept alive by Nixon. And Van Allen's making some nice moves. She just can't finish it. But Edmondson, offensive board and the putback.
Well, 3 offensive boards in 1 possession. You're going to end up on the wrong end of that. Portland's got to do a better job of putting a body on somebody, and I thought they did a nice job of that in that second quarter.
Edmondson picks up her 3rd offensive rebound. The step by Andrews, splitting the defenders, hits the deck, and she'll head to the line for 2.
She does such a good job of getting to the rim and just crafty inside, gets around people without, drawing contact right there.
Yeah, it's that jab step, splitting those defenders.
She's got the jab, she's got the Euro, very efficient in the paint for a point guard.
I thought we were calling it the Aussie.
The Aussie step.
And there, Andrews making the free throw.
Well, she's gotten many opponents with the Aussie step, I'll tell you.
348 made free throws in her career. Has her 3rd all-time offensive board off the free throw. And Moheim trying to chase down the long rebound. Haraki has it and gives it up to her own teammate Nixon. They're pushing it up the court. It's Van Allen. And the layup.
And that's what they want to do. He talked about transition points. They want to go a little bit.
Yeah, he thinks that's where they have their advantage, moving up the court. Right now, the Broncos with a 1-point lead. Back to Cochran. Fowler with it. Under 10 on the shot clock. Gets the screen, lost it, gives it back to Cochran. Elbow jumper, short again.
Well, Cochran, Andrews, and Fowler kind of have this triangle option going inside. Screens, pick and rolls, trying to draw the defense and then trying to kick it out here and there, but just haven't hit shots with it yet.
Shearer picks up the personal foul. That'll be her 2nd and the team's 1st. Van Allen trying to get the separation from Andrews. Picks up her dribble. Nixon has it on the far side. Double teamed. Veal, she hit 3 in the first half. Offensive board. Stafford blocked by Cochran. It'll stay with the Broncos.
Good block by Cochran, but just got to put a body on that weak side board and not allow Santa Clara for second chance points. And so far, Portland has not done a good job in this 3rd quarter on the defensive rebounding end.
I was going to say, that's probably their 3rd, 4th, maybe in their 5th offensive rebound. And again, Stafford in the right spot, cleans it up. Cochran just getting that with one hand, kicks it out to Shearer. In the paint, she lost the handle on it. And we got a jump ball. And Cochran really happy with the situation that she has going on here. She really thinks that Meek and his style of play lines up perfectly with what she has to do.
Oh, absolutely.
I think for my size, I'm very athletic. I can run the floor, and I think that fits very well with the way Mike likes to play because he's big on pressing and pressuring teams. So I think that's why I was so excited to play for him, because he's very big on that. I think I'm good off the dribble, kind of from the mid-range area, and I like to block shots. So yeah.
I think blocking shots is an understatement for her. She's got, I believe it's over 50 blocks on the season now. As the foul called, Van Allen will head to the line. Fowler picked it up. That would be her first and the team's second.
Well, she definitely has added an element that they have not had in the past with that length inside and the shot blocking ability, because it's not necessarily, I mean, she's got 50 plus, like you said, on the season, but it's altering shots. That is not in a stat category that a lot of people have trouble with when you know, especially guards, you get inside and you get a little intimidated.
Van Allen, a rare miss. She shoots almost 86% from the free throw line. She went 1 for 2 that time, and Emmy Shearer picks up the foul. That's her third personal.
But again, just an offensive rebound that's just killing the Pilots right now. Santa Clara doing a great job of being aggressive on the offensive glass.
Yeah. What does Portland need to do exactly to try to counteract that right now? It seems all effort is for the Broncos.
Well, you got to put a physical body on somebody and be a little bit tougher inside. You know, shot goes up, you got to find somebody quick.
Veal, past her defender, tried to use the glass, no good. Rebound, Fowler. 12 points and 8 rebounds for Fowler. She's closing in on a double-double. And we got a foul off ball. And it'll be on Merle Veal. That'll be her second. Correction, her first. Nixon into the game for Santa Clara. Bruno in for the Pilots. Bruno was crashing towards that hoop. Andrews saw her all the way.
Yep, nice cut. Nice job of executing out of bounds. Good hands.
And another turnover. Andrews trying to get past Hollingsworth. Found Burnham across the paint. Oh! Back-to-back buckets by Burnham, and we're tied up at 37.
What a find by Andrews. Great vision and just great job of finding Burnham down low.
Those are Burnham's first points in the game. She now has 4. Van Allen stepping away from Burnham. Former Big West Freshman of the Year, and Burnham will pick up the foul. That'll be her second. And the 4th team foul on the Pilots. So again, they're going to have to play tight with 5:47 to go in the 3rd quarter. Their next foul will be an automatic 2 for Santa Clara.
Well, what's hard is the style of play that their, you know, tradition. It's get after people, make things happen, trap, press, and it's hard to do that when you're in foul trouble.
Van Allen, again, 86% free throw shooter, and she's now missed 2 in a row. Senior from Mesquite High School in Gilbert, Arizona. She's averaging just under 17 points on the season. And fortunate, that second free throw fell for her. She's now 2 for 4 from the line.
She's got a nice, smooth stroke and nice touch on the ball.
Fowler to Burnham. She has the last 4 points for the Pilots, going up against Hollingsworth. 15 on the shot clock. Andrews looking around. Veal closing in defensively, gives it up to MJ Bruno. 15. Bruno, the right hand. And it'll be 1 and done for the Pilots.
Well, nice little take, just a little bit off balance on the finish there. She's been really working offensively, as we talked about, just a little bit different position so far in the college ranks, and it'll come.
Hollingsworth, no good. Andrews rebound. She's trying to push it up the court. Nixon got off her feet. The feed to Fowler.
They are just so deadly in transition.
And the other thing I noticed is Andrews is just so good at making you make the mistake, and she takes advantage of it.
And when you got somebody like Fowler to pass the ball to, great things are going to happen.
Yeah, that Aussie connection just keeps on going. Van Allen, take it outside the paint, now beyond the 3-point line. 10 seconds on the shot clock. 1 point lead for the Pilots. Stafford, baseline jumper. And MJ Bruno ends up with it as Andrews hit the floor.
Well, both of them put a body on somebody, just like we talked about, and that's exactly what they need to do. Ends up in the board.
And we got a foul off ball. And that one will be on Bryce Nixon. And I think that was going up against Maisie Burnham. Nixon picks up her second. And that'll send us to the media. 39-38, the Pilots holding on to a 1-point lead. 4:18 left to go. Burnham fighting hard down low. Welcome back inside the Child Center. 4:18 left to go in the third quarter. These two teams just trading baskets back and forth, although Santa Clara has not hit a basket in the last 3 minutes. But you and I talking at the break, Jen, rebounding a huge point of concern for the Pilots. 13 offensive rebounds for Santa Clara. That totals the defensive rebounds for the Pilots.
Yeah, in 6 minutes in this second half, and it's just too many points, second chance points opportunities, and you would think that Portland's going to make a little adjustment. Nice inbounds there to Burnham. Drew the foul and got herself to the free throw line. They do such a great job of executing out of bounds every game. Every game they get good looks.
Substitution.
And we were talking specifically that Gonzaga game. There were multiple times where the Pilots took advantage of the out-of-bounds play underneath the hoop.
Well, he's got a plethora of out-of-bounds offensive sets. And you've got to prepare for a lot when you play Coach Meek.
I was going to say, he could probably just do a clinic alone on those baseline out-of-bounds sets.
Heck yeah.
As that one goes out of bounds, Frawley had the initial rebound, and Veal poked it away. So 20 on the shot clock for Portland. Meek had Flug right away, but she's looking underneath the basket. And a charge called on Rose Flug. Haraki on the receiving end of that one.
Well, there was contact, and she did extend her arm a little bit, but I don't know if that's really what displaced her defensively. But it's gotten a little physical here in the second half.
Most definitely. Frawley causing trouble. She wanted the turnover, but it'll stay with Santa Clara.
And Haraki there, very fortunate not giving that ball up.
Pilots playing tough on this full court pressure. Burnham had a touch on it. Santa Clara gets it across the court.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and the steal from Flug. And Veal had enough to poke it away. It'll stay with the Pilots, but great anticipation for Rose Flug. She just flew out of nowhere to take that one.
She was playing a safety in football, and just great anticipation. I saw it coming myself, to be honest with you. And just a great job by Rose.
25 on the shot clock. We're under 4 to go in the third quarter. Burnham has 4 points in this quarter. Part of that bench production for the Pilots. Can't make the three. Veal poked the ball into the hands of Van Allen. She might take this one herself. And she does. The free throw jumper. She's got 14 points.
She's just very smooth. You know, nothing seems to phase her on either end of the floor. Just, you know, steady, does her job, and can really score in a quick hurry.
Fowler and Van Allen both with 14. The kick out to Burnham. Hard take, Veal on defense. Ball still loose, Van Allen rebound.
See, I would have liked her just to take that open free throw line jumper instead of taking it into the defense. I think a lot of times players give up that open look to try to create something else. Just shoot it.
Stafford's pass over the hands of Veal. So turnover for the Broncos. Kai Tu'u and Andrews checking in. Flug and Burnham to the bench. Van Allen, who's looks to be gassed, running up and down that court, will get a breather now as Bryce Nixon checks in for her.
Well, the thing that, you know, an opposing team coming into Portland has to realize, like, there is no time to take a breath because you're going to have somebody flying at you the entire time. And it's just not a style that you're used to. So fatigue may end up playing a little bit of a factor if they don't have some depth that they're used to.
I don't know how Fowler just got that one to Kai Tu'u, just sort of slipped it out while she was in the paint. But Kai Tu'u in the scoring column, she now has 4 points.
I like how she's come in and just been solid.
Stafford almost got Fowler to jump. Haraki takes, Fowler made it. A tough play for Haraki, affecting that shot. So Hollingsworth picks up the foul.
And Coach Carr talked about Hollingsworth quite a bit the other day too, and we had a chat with him on the phone, and really has liked what she has brought to the team and added in the last few weeks. And losing some of your guards, especially against a team like Portland where you got to have ball handlers. You know, it's a committee thing here. It's not just one person's job. And, you know, for the most part, Santa Clara has done a nice job of handling the press.
Yeah, when we talked with Coach Carr, I mean, we all knew what Van Allen and Veal could do. And we asked him, who's somebody else you can't really sleep on? He said, Hollingsworth, when she is on and doing well, the rest of the team follows suit.
Absolutely.
Alex Fowler makes the free throw. She now has a game-high 15 points. She gets one more rebound. She'll crack the top 10 in program history. And that one more rebound will also give her a double-double. Haraki falls down. Ooh. Wow.
I don't know, Brian.
Haraki will head to the line for two. I believe they called that one on Kai Tu'u. They did. That'll be her first personal.
And that's just inadvertent. She tripped over somebody's foot.
I was going to say, I didn't see any touch from anybody. She just fell, lost her footing. So Santa Clara will get a break here, and they'll get 2 free throws. Haraki, an 80.5% free throw shooter. And she misses.
Well, it's been interesting. I mean, free throw wise, a little uncharacteristic from Santa Clara coming into this game. We've talked about it, leading the conference, and they've had multiple players miss.
76.8% on the season, and right now they're shooting 50%. Fowler underneath, got the spot, and Edmondson gets called for the foul. That'll be her second.
And we talked about how free throws may make a big difference here down the road.
Fowler almost got herself into trouble, almost too deep underneath that basket.
Well, I like that she's gone back to her left hand a little bit in that first half. I thought there were a couple opportunities where she went up, you know, offensive board, had the ball in her right hand on the left side, and we talk about the free throw woes.
Fowler now 4 for 6. Correction, she was 4 for 7. Now she's 4 for 8. She's shooting 50%. Normally she's shooting at 70%. Haraki, open lane, nobody in front of her, and Fowler stuffs it right back. The push up the court to Kai Tu'u. Oh, she can't handle the pass. Fowler looked like she baited her right there on the other side.
She did, and that was a good pass by Andrews right there. That should have been an easy 2. Unfortunate on the catch there for Kaya 2. Good timing.
Inbound. We're under 2 minutes left to go in the third. Kaitu Hussein in front of Haraki. Just getting it across the timeline with a second to spare. Veal is 3 for 4 from behind the arc. She hit her first 3, but that was all the way back in the first quarter.
Yeah, she's kind of been quiet as of late here. Like we talked about, it was the first couple minutes and been silent since.
Van Allen. No good, just beating the shot clock, and a hard foul. Stafford, I think, will pick that one up.
Substitution for the Pilots, Lucy Cochran.
Tell you, there's been a lot of bodies on the floor today. Off of boards, weak side stuff, just it's getting physical, and officials for the most part have done a nice job of just keeping control. And
I was going to say, there hasn't been anything that's been too outlandish or anything.
Nope.
1:15 left to go in the third. Pilots holding on to a 2-point lead. Last year, inside the Child Center, Merle Veal hit a buzzer beater to beat the Pilots. And we've got a close one. It could be shaping up for a last-second shot again.
Well, great little high-low look right there. Fowler did a great job after setting that down screen, just sealing. Cochran finding her and got herself to the free throw line.
Veal picks up that foul. That's her second, the team's 7th in this quarter. Again, Fowler 4 for 8 from the free throw line today.
Well, both squads really struggling from the free throw line. If you really want to get technical, like we said, it's going to come down to some free throws, I think, once we get in this fourth quarter.
Santa Clara 6 for 10 from the free throw line. Portland is 11 for 18. 60% for the Broncos, 61 for the Pilots. Final minute of play here in the third quarter. Stafford looking for an outlet, gives it to Van Allen. She's in the corner. Cochran couldn't cut off the baseline. Oh, hanging on the lip of the rim. Offensive board. And Danya Stafford coming up big again. That's her 5th offensive rebound in the game.
Van Allen, just a nice little finger roll that just missed. The great take at the rim, and again, that second chance points from Santa Clara has just absolutely killed Portland in the beginning of this second half.
Hollingsworth keeps her ground, makes it a difficult shot for Andrews, no good. About 4.5 seconds between shot clock and game clock. 2-point lead for Portland. 7 on the shot clock. Veal to Van Allen. She's got 2 defenders by her. Bruno trying to stay in front. The give to Hollingsworth. And a board for Andrews. She now cracks the top 10 all-time in rebounds for Portland. And that'll end the third quarter. 2-point lead for the Pilots, 45-43. We got a close one here. Anything can happen in the final 10. Well, after that rebound to end the third quarter, Fowler now has a double-double, 18 points, 10 rebounds. And that rebound put her in the top 10 all-time with 580 career rebounds. And mind you, she's only 2 and maybe a half of a season in.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised in the next little bit here if she doesn't end up #1 by the time she graduates. And I mean, just a tremendous effort today. Like you said, double-double so far. She's got 18 points, 10 boards. Boards have been a huge factor. Santa Clara's got 14 offensive boards to give them 15 second chance points.
And that's the big one, really. That's the one that's really hurting the Pilots, is the second chance points.
Yep.
Andrews using her body against Hiraki. She gets the roll.
She's just so deadly when she gets positioned down low, and most guards can't, especially in the point guard spot.
And a 5-second violation on the inbound. That's the second time today the Pilots have caused that.
Well, I love the defensive energy and just the energy overall that Portland has come out with in this first 30 seconds.
Inbound to Cochran off of her hand. She didn't chase it down. They've got numbers. Stafford to Van Allen. Fowler doing a good job slowing the offense down right there.
Smart decision by Van Allen right there.
4-point lead for the Pilots. Van Allen take all the way off the glass and good.
That was a sweet in and out move from the top of the key. Got the defense to bite and off to the races and a nice finish.
She's got 16 right now. Fowler tried to go baseline. Danya Stafford steps in the way, and I believe that's Stafford's third personal foul.
Danya Stafford, her third personal, first team foul.
Well, you know what you love about Van Allen. We talked about how great of a three-point shooter she is. She struggled from the three-point line, find another way to score, and that's exactly what she's done. Been super efficient.
Inbound pass was tipped. Bryce Nixon ends up with it. Van Allen again slowing down the offense. Back-to-back negative possessions for the Pilots.
Well, you hate to see that after the nice start that they came out with.
And Stafford getting the feed across the paint. She now has 11 points. She's 2 off of her career high.
11.7 rebounds. Nice night for her, nice day for her for sure.
Veal putting the pressure on Cochran, getting her uncomfortable. 11 on the shot clock. Andrews refuses the screen off the glass, no good. And Stafford now with her 8th rebound. And I think Haley Andrews just got called for the foul. She did, and that'll be her first personal.
First team foul on the Pilots in the fourth quarter.
Well, a little frustration foul, I think, right there off that miss. And, you know, you don't want to foul on the rebound on that one, 93 feet from the hoop. Good hands by Burnham.
Tipped on the inbound. And that's a tough spot to inbound it on. She can't move.
Really tough.
We'll see how the Pilots respond. .8:19 left in the ball game. We're all tied up at 47. Veal, the inbound, gets it to Bryce Nixon. Full court pressure put on by Moheim.
Taking a little pressure off of Hirachi there, bringing the ball up. She pretty much had the assignment all day long, and Andrews picking up a second foul here in the last 15 seconds.
And she now has 2, and that's the second one on the team in this quarter. Andrews just trying to get an explanation of what happened there. It's almost funny to think about with how physical this game has been. That's the one that was called. All tied up at 47. Stafford, the skip pass to Hiraki. Van Allen, she's been so effective, but that time no good. Burnham comes down with a rebound.
Good board.
Andrews by the defender who tried to cut off the pass. Shearer's 3 is put up. What a rebound right there by Burnham, going up with the single paw. The Pilots cannot turn it into points, and we got players hitting the floor.
Great offensive board and nice kick out, and that's a great time to shoot a three is off an offensive board. I don't mind that shot whatsoever, and just unfortunate not to get the finish there, but I like how aggressive Portland's being on the offensive glass. Both teams really rebounding has been huge.
The jump ball is in the possession arrow for Santa Clara, so that's why they got the ball back.
Good defense.
Oh, Shearer with the steal. She's third in the conference, averaging 2.2 a game, and she'll get the layup. Those are her first points.
And that all started off the defense.
And the steal by Andrews. And Berta will now head to the line. Veal picks up her third personal. And Maisie Burnham heading to the line, and she talks about some of the best teams in the country, they're often player-led.
Yep. We have a lot of great leaders that are pushing us in practice every day and holding us accountable. Coach Meek talks about all the time, like, player-led teams, and I truly feel like I've never been on a team our leaders step up in practice and stop drills and be like, come on, we got to work harder. Then it's like, that's true, and we need great teams are player-led.
Timeout called on the floor. 2-point lead for the Pilots, 49-47 with 7:04 left to go. We're going to send it to break. We'll be right back inside the Child Center. Well, the Pilots have been doing what they've done best all season. That's forcing turnovers on their opponents. And they just had 3 in the last couple minutes. That's turned now into 12 points in the game for the Pilots.
Huge, and I feel like their defensive intensity just jumped up another notch here, like we saw in that first half. And certainly, to finish this one out, it's going to be a tight ball game. And defensive pressure with hands off and boards are going to be a huge key for Portland.
Burnham, 4 points, 4 rebounds. All 4 of those points came in the third quarter, coming out of halftime.
AC Burnham at the line to shoot 2.
Burnham, nearly an 84% free throw shooter, 83.8. And she'll go 2 for 2 from the stripe. And the Pilots are going to need that coming down here on the final stretch. They were shooting at 63%. Normally, they're shooting at about 70 on the season.
Well, and in this second half, they have 8 bench points, which, in the first half, I think they had 2. So, great job of the bench coming in and contributing, and that's going to be a huge factor, I think, as well down the stretch.
Van Allen, she's got all the confidence in the world as she takes it to the hoop right there, and she now has 18 points, tying Fowler for the game high.
I've been really impressed, like I said earlier, just scoring in different ways. And like I said, three-point line's not in her favor today, but she's finding ways to score and done it at a very efficient clip.
Burnham can't come up with it. And we got a foul on Maisie Burnham.
Her third personal.
Third personal and the third team foul on Portland in this quarter.
In the lineup, replacing Ayla Veal.
Yeah, Van Allen, she's the third leading scorer in the WCC. Explosive player, efficient shooting, and you talked about it. So the three-point line is just not going her way today, so she's taking it inside.
Well, and that's what great scorers do. I mean, you got to find a way. And this is a team that needs her to score, and whether, you know, she's hitting from the three-point line or not, I mean, you can't count her out. She's really nice ball handler, great skills, aggressive, and smooth.
There she got the steal, and she couldn't hold on to it. Fowler almost gave that one away.
Yeah, lucky there. That was not a turnover.
6 minutes to go. 2-point lead for Portland. Andrews gets it up to Burnham. 15 on the shot clock. And then Andrews hitting the deck again.
You know, both teams really physical, trying to hold their ground. And, I mean, we've had multiple bodies on the ground all day long. Kind of pushed her way through that one.
Gonna need the ice bath, maybe a couple dozen ice bags after this game with how physical it's been. And you see Stafford just trying to fight through that screen. And
yeah, and if you're Stafford, you either got to go underneath it or get in front and not allow her to cut over the top, but you can't go through the body.
Stafford, the one who's been most effective on the offensive boards for Portland. Oh. Great feed by Andrews. Oh, but Fowler can't finish it. Hollingsworth the rebound.
Oh, great find by Andrews. An unfortunate miss right there.
Stafford's now out of the game with 4 fouls. But again, the most effective on the offensive rebounds. Van Allen got the defender to go by. She's got 20 points.
She's kind of found that sweet spot at that WCC logo inside the paint, and really dangerous.
She ties this up at 51. Fowler fighting for position. Got the matchup she wanted against Hollingsworth, but she's short. Edmondson comes flying in for the rebound.
Well, I like the strategy of going inside to her, that's for sure.
Broncos swing it around the outside. Now back over to Nixon on the far side. Van Allen. Oh my goodness. She thought she had the open shot. Fowler was waiting right behind her, and then in a panic, trying to give it back to Bryce Nixon, and ends up out of bounds. And that'll send us to the media. We're all tied up 51 all with 4:44 left to go in the fourth quarter. It's anybody's ball game. Don't go anywhere. have to give credit where credit is due. Santa Clara has clamped down defensively on the Pilots. Pilots just won their last 7 shooting. They have not scored in almost 2.5 minutes. So we're all tied up at 51 all. I mean, from a competitive standpoint, you can't ask for much more. 10 different lead changes, 9 different times where the score has been tied. We knew this was going to be a tough battle, Jen.
Yeah, and no, I think it's a great matchup like we talked about. And, you know, even in the history we talked about both teams kind of stealing one from each other at home and away. And, you know, it's going to come down to making big plays, making, you know, doing the little things. Can't give up offensive boards and second chance points either side, and making free throws and not turning the ball over. And so far, you know, 13 and 11 for turnovers for the game with the amount of pressure that's been put on for both teams has been pretty good.
Portland has been taking advantage of those turnovers. So 13 for Santa Clara has led to 14 points. And Andrews feeding it to Cochran on the other side of the paint. And Cochran now has 7 points.
Well, and a great assist there by Andrews. You know, right now, Portland is 14 assists on 19 field goals. That's a pretty good percentage.
I think they called Fowler on that one. They do. That'll be her second personal and the 4th one on the Pilots. So again, foul trouble with just under halfway to go in the 4th quarter. The next foul will put Santa Clara on the line for 2 free throws.
Little 1-3-1. Defensively, switch it up a little bit. Now they're matched up.
Van Allen got the matchup she wanted, blowing by Cochran, and she'll head to the line for a 3-point play.
And she's super aggressive and really crafty around the rim, and super impressed, like I said, just getting herself to the free throw line and getting to the rim. Great take right at Cochran.
So Van Allen now with 22. Danya Stafford checking back in. She's got 4 personal fouls as Edmondson goes to the bench. Again, Van Allen 2 for 4 from the stripe today. Normally an 85% free throw shooter. Here trying to finish off the 3-point play, and it goes.
And that's going to put Santa Clara in the bonus the rest of the way.
So the Pilots will have to play clean basketball defensively. Fowler fighting for position in the paint. Bruno puts up the 3. Front iron, offensive board, Fowler. She's too far underneath, she can't take the shot. And I think they called the travel.
Yeah, I think she kind of got turned around and her foot drug just a little bit on the baseline side there.
Fowler, 18 points, 12 rebounds. And another 5-second call. That's 3 now on the day. 14 turnovers for Santa Clara, 12 for Portland.
And that's a big one right there.
Santa Clara is at their season average. They're the 3rd best team in taking care of the ball in the conference. They average 14.8 turnovers on the season. And Andrews, tough take. Lana Hollingsworth is the one who will pick up the foul, and she fell pretty hard herself.
Well, Andrews is just so good at drawing contact and getting herself to the rim. And, you know, right there, Hollingsworth had no chance. She had a step on her, no chance other than to foul her.
Along with Bryce Nixon for Santa Clara.
Andrews averaging 12.1 points per game, 5.8 assists. She's got 5 assists and 7 points right now. And we just haven't really seen her be that factor where we usually see her get down in the paint, get position, and get the mismatch that she wants. It hasn't been there today.
No, and, you know, Santa Clara's got good length, so that may be a contributing factor to it.
And Haraki's slow to get up.
Yeah.
She seems to be doing okay on the inbound right there, getting her step back. Fowler and Shearer trapping. Tried to split the defenders. Fowler has it. Oh, the block from Van Allen. She is the heartbeat for this team right now and saves a basket.
Yeah, and everybody in the gym thought that was going to be an easy 2, and out of nowhere, she comes from the backside. Great hustle and a great block.
The inbound, looking for Molheim, and gets it up to Shearer. Van Allen almost took it away. There's too many Pilots on that side right there. So now they spread out.
Ooh.
Cochran got called for the travel.
Little hop, little bunny hop right there.
Millie's been quiet this entire half right now. Molheim, she had the 9 points in that first half, including the 3 free throws that gave the Pilots the lead at halftime. And so far, she hasn't even put up a shot in the second half. Emmy Shearer called for the foul. That's her 4th personal, and that should send Santa Clara to the line.
And right there, those are the fouls that you just can't have.
3:15 left to go in the 4th. It's a 1-point lead as Bryce Nixon, who has not missed a free throw this season.
Bryce Nixon at the line to shoot 2.
And there it is, the first miss of the season. She was 6 for 6 going in.
The broadcaster jinx, Ryan.
And she's now 6 for 7, and the free throw shooting woes continue for Santa Clara.
Well, we talked about it, how it's going to be really important. We got tie ball game with just under 3.5 to go, and free throws are going to be a part of it.
Santa Clara 7 of 11. Meanwhile, Portland 15 for 22. Both teams shooting under 70%, and that looked like Veal could have made contact there on Cochran. Andrews has it, 10 on the shot clock, gives it up to Fowler. Cross the paint to Cochran. Again, back to Fowler, and Veal. Correction, Stafford did a great job holding her ground. Fresh shot clock for the Pilots on the offensive board. And now we have a foul. And that one's on Veal. That'll be her 4th.
Number 5, Layla Veal, her 4th personal.
And the 5th team foul, and that means the Pilots are heading to the line. Lucy Cochran will shoot 2. And let me tell you, they need it. They are just 1 for their last 7 from the field.
Well, at this point, you got to get points any way you can, and both teams really bodying each other up down low, and Cochran fortunate there, working hard to get position, drew a foul.
Cochran now has 8 points and perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line.
Got to play defense both sides without fouling.
Yep, got to be careful. Nixon almost that hesitation using Stafford as a shield. And the pass too high, out of bounds, off the hand of Hollingsworth.
Good team defense by Portland right there. Now they got to capitalize on the offensive end and get a great possession.
At this crunch time right now, what do you think the Pilots are, who do you think the Pilots are going
Andrews. Andrews and, Fowler's out of the game, or actually, I'm sorry, it's either Fowler or Andrews.
Andrews 9 points, Fowler has 18. Shearer, a decent scorer for this Pilots team, has been quiet most of the night, and the play by Andrews couldn't get it off the defender. An empty possession for the Pilots. 2 minutes to go. They got a close one inside the Child Center. Broncos on the outside. Nixon wants to take a chance at it. Oh, she gets the bounce.
That's a big shot right there, and she did not hesitate whatsoever. Pulled the trigger as soon as she got it.
A timeout called by Meek. Santa Clara hitting their last 3 baskets. Meanwhile, Portland 1 for their last 8. They've got no field goals in almost 3 minutes now, as we've got a 30-second timeout on the floor, and the Pilots trailing by 1 with $1:40 left to go in the contest. So what do you think Meek is talking to his team about right now?
Well, I think, last couple times down the floor, they're not getting any ball swings. It's just everything's in the paint, and it's so, kind of bunched up in there. So, not having a field goal in the last 3 minutes and it's still being a 1-point game, you're in great shape. But they got to have a great offensive possession. They got to spread the floor a little bit more and then go inside to Fowler and Andrews.
Right now, both these teams playing physical, but both of them, next foul, again, puts either team on the line for 2 free throws.
Well, and you talked about Maddie Molheim hasn't really even had an attempt, I don't think, in the last...
No, she hasn't had an attempt in this half.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been quiet for the most part. Molheim talking with Cochran. Pilots will inbound it in front of their own bench. 26 on the shot clock.
Yeah, I've seen that 100 times by them. Andrews is going to come off on a little rub screen, and everybody jumps to that. Fowler did a great job of just turning the corner and getting an easy 2. Great execution.
Shearer in front of Nixon. Gives it to Veal. 1:15 to go in the game. A 1-point lead for Portland. The last time these two played inside the Child Center, it was a buzzer beater by Veal. Van Allen using the glass and takes the lead back by 1.
Well, I tell you, the only way to stop her right now is not allow her to get the basketball.
Final minute of play. Veal on Cochran. Fowler going up against Stafford, and that's smart. Stafford's got 4 fouls, and Santa Clara now calling a timeout with 47.3 seconds to go. And the Pilots saw the weakness down on the block. Fowler taking advantage of Stafford with 4 fouls. They gave it to her in the basket. And now they have a 1-point lead, 61-60, Jen.
Well, she's doing such a great job of, and we're going to take a look at it here, just getting position down low. And you're right, doesn't want to draw the foul, but just great finish with body contact. Santa Clara calls a timeout. They're going to advance the ball. In the women's game, you can advance the ball in the last 2 minutes with a timeout for a half-court situation with 47.3 to go. And you can expect that they're going to go to Van Allen here. And if I'm Portland, I'm not letting her have the basketball. Make somebody else beat you.
She's got 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists on the day.
And it's a tremendous second half.
Let's take a look at the standings right now. Santa Clara 3-1 in conference. So they're at third, Gonzaga and BYU. The favorites that we figured would be at the top at both 4-0. Portland got the short stick there. 2 games against Gonzaga to start conference play. So they're 1-2 right now. But those 2 losses, they're not as bad as it seems. They were close games between those 2.
Well, you look at the standings and with the COVID situation, with readjusting everything, and, you know, it's who you played. Like you said, Portland started off, you know, with 2 games against Gonzaga in the first week and a half. So, you know, they're all vying for that 3rd and 4th spot going into conference tournament, and it's going to be a nice race.
Yeah, Van Allen, we were talking about it just a moment ago, 8 points in that first half. She's got 17 here in the second half.
Well, and Keely Frawley checked in, and I like that substitution just energy-wise.
She flies around defensively. Nixon called for the travel. She wanted to take the shot, the defender in her face, forcing the turnover. And Meek will call a timeout now with 32.7 seconds left. And let's take a look at that last play by Bryce Nixon. The step back.
Oh, and another step. Yep. Good call by the official right there, and that's a big one. You know, you got 32. I mean, you pretty much have to foul here.
I was about to ask. Yeah, 32.7 seconds, a 30-second shot clock will be put on.
You got to give yourself a quick, you know, go for a quick steal, try to make something happen, but I would foul and just give yourself a little bit more time and play the numbers game a little bit here, time and score-wise. You know, 2.7 is not a lot of time to score if you get a stop, even in the half-court situation.
And with either team not necessarily shooting lights out from the free throw line, Pilots are doing a bit better. They're now above 70%, but that might be the way that Santa Clara gets back in as Andrews gets fouled by Van Allen. That'll be her 2nd personal foul, which is great news for Santa Clara. She's been out of foul trouble, and they won't have to worry about her for these final 31.3 seconds.
And here goes offensive, defensive substitution. Really smart, in my opinion, putting Frawley in the game. She's got size, and she's quick, and she's just aggressive, and
she plays smart
hands.
too. She's in her 3rd season.
Yep.
I mean, normally, I know we've talked about it in the past, Bruno and Frawley, you can almost interchange them out defensively on the court, but in this type of situation, you want the person who's been out there multiple times, and that's Frawley. As Andrews missing the free throw there.
Well, big one here.
And she went 0 for 2. Coach Carr calling a timeout.
Well, we talked about free throws being a major contributor, and there's 2 right there that could really hurt him.
17 for 26 on the day for Portland.
It's going to come down to a defensive stop right here. They've really collectively got to make sure that, you know, they pack it in, don't give up an easy look, and you can guarantee that they're going to try to get the ball to Van Allen and get to the rim as fast as they can.
Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for Portland after today's game. small road trip as they head south to SoCal to take on San Diego and Pepperdine to end January. And then to start February, they take on BYU, top of the conference, and then Loyola Marymount, which they'll play again on the 7th. You just don't see it right there. Back-to-back games against Loyola Marymount. So the Pilots have a decent schedule ahead of them.
Definitely, and you know, the thing about it is, and we talk about the top half of the conference, I mean, it's open right now. I mean, yes, Gonzaga and BYU, you know, right now are the favorites, but I'll tell you, every single night in this conference, somebody can get beat, and it's about competing. And you know, with COVID and players being out, you don't know what's going to happen day to day. So it's taking advantage of the day at hand. And right now, Portland with a 1-point lead needs a defensive stop right here.
I'm not one to read lips, but I think Coach Clara was giving some extra encouragement to Veal right there. She's standing in front of the bench. You have to wonder, maybe she might be getting that look, with everybody focusing on Van Allen and her production here in the second half.
Very possible. I mean, she's been quiet this second half, but at the beginning of the game, red hot.
Yeah, Veal in the first half had 11 points. She has not scored here in the second half. And I think they're looking up at the clock to make sure that's the correct time.
Well, they made an adjustment because we were talking about 32 seconds left on the clock. 32.7, I think, is what was on before. And now there's 31.
31 flat. So Bryce Nixon set to inbound.
Timeout remains.
Both teams with a single timeout.
And Frawley's just got to keep it out of that middle right there.
Yeah. Keep her body near Van Allen. Nixon on the outside. She's telling Van Allen to get out. Frawley cuts off Van Allen, picks up her dribble. They give it back to her. In the paint, Cochran. What a play by her, affecting that shot to Van Allen, and we got a foul call, not a jump ball. Who are they going to call it on, though? They call it on 33. That's Danya Stafford. And that'll be her fifth. She is now fouled out of the game.
And Cochran goes to the line here. Great job. Gets a piece of that on that block, and then just a good board. And you can see Stafford coming in, trying to pick up an offensive board there, picking up the fifth foul. Big free throws right here.
I couldn't tell if she got a hand on it, but either way, she affected that shot enough.
I thought she got a tip on it. I mean, not a lot, but you're right, Brian. Absolutely affected that shot.
Cochran is doing very well from the line today. She's now 5 for 5 from the line with 6.2 seconds left. Santa Clara calls a timeout.
Big free throws by Cochran right there.
And mind you, Cochran is just a 53.8% free throw shooter, and she's perfect today, 5 for 5. And they've needed all 5. That gives them a 3-point lead with 6.2 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter.
Well, the biggest thing, obviously, right now is not to give up a three and not to foul. You know, make them make a tough shot and make them put it on the ground, but you just can't foul a three-point shooter. Make them make it.
And the only person that's been effective from three for them is Merle Veal. She hit 3 of them in the first quarter. Since then, she's gone 0 for 1. And again, no points in this half. It's been the Van Allen show. 17 points in this half alone.
Yeah, she's been terrific.
I mean, as a team, Santa Clara is shooting just 4 for 14 from behind the arc. Bryce Nixon has a 3. And then again, the other 3 go to Veal. We'll see what the play is. Veal to Van Allen. She had an opening near the pilot wheel. Fowler coming out. The 3 is up. She hits it. 1.6 left. And a timeout called for Portland.
Well, she's been clutch for them all day, and as soon as it left her hand, I thought she had a good chance.
Wow.
1.6 still is enough time here, and you'll take a nice little look at that step back.
Shear came out in defense, and then Van Allen took the side step. Fowler was closing in, but unaffected. And Van Allen, you finally knew one of them was going to fall for her. She's now 1 for 7 from behind the arc, and she's got 28 points.
And the one that really mattered right there at the end, huge shot.
She now ties her career high of 28 that she had against San Francisco just a couple of games ago.
Well, 1.6 is enough to get a shot off. And so number one, you know, you look maybe throwing a sideline out of bounds to the block and have Fowler go up, try to draw a foul. You know, you have one dribble and a shot, a handoff coming off for, you know, Andrews was what they normally run. I don't think they have enough time for that, but I would set a screen and get Fowler down low and try to get her the ball.
Try to get Fowler down low. Do you think they put Molheim in here at all for a possible? I know that's a deep shot. You don't need a deep shot. You need something inside if you can get it. But with 1.6 seconds left, it's not like you can get it from the three-point line to the hoop in a single dribble.
See what they run here.
Shearer, Molheim, Cochran, Fowler, and Andrews on the floor. Van Allen, Veal, Hollingsworth, Haraki, and Edmondson on the court for Santa Clara. Shearer inbounding. Now it's to Molheim. Puts up the shot at the buzzer. Oh, I think it was online. It looked like it. Coach Carr wanted to travel, and guess what? We've got ourselves some free basketball inside the Child Center. And what did you think about that final shot there, Jen?
I mean, decent look. You know, they got to look at it. Bottom line is they didn't turn it over, didn't commit a foul. So here we go to OT.
63-all. We head to free basketball inside the Child Center. We'll be right back. Welcome back inside the Child Center. Don't let the top of the Bugs mess with you. We're in overtime, not quarter five. 5 minutes for these two teams to figure it out. I think we just had an explanation on what happened with the timing there at the end. But here we go, jump ball for overtime. Cochran wins it, and the Pilots will have first possession.
Well, first couple minutes of this overtime period, huge. Efficiency, staying out of putting people on the line, getting great shots. Oh.
And a bad turnover. Fowler was going outside the paint. Cochran thought she was cutting back in.
She just released a little bit soon.
Danya Stafford has fouled out for Santa Clara. Merle Veal and Laura Edmondson with the ball right now. Both have 4 fouls. Veal trying to get back into the scoring column after 0 points in the second half. The bunny hop and the pass inside to Fowler. And I think that was Edmondson. And it is. That should be her 5th.
Well, you can see literally everybody in the room knows that they're trying to go inside to Fowler and Santa Clara and throwing 3 people at her. Just got a little too physical.
So Edmondson's going to have to come out of the game because she's fouled out. Lana Hollingsworth comes in, and Fowler will head to the line.
And that's going to be big just for inside presence for Santa Clara. They don't have the depth now that, you know, Portland does down low.
And the other thing to think about, Edmondson and Stafford for Santa Clara have been huge on the offensive boards for Santa Clara today, and now you're losing both of those presence inside. Fowler making the second free throw, giving the Pilots a 1-point lead.
And with that, I would think that Portland's going to make that quick adjustment. Not that they haven't been going to Fowler already, but that's going to be a huge point going down the stretch here.
Van Allen cannot leave her alone in that zone. She's got 30 points, a new career high.
She's just been terrific.
She's made 13 baskets in the game. That, too, is a career high. Hollingsworth almost a steal against Cochran. 15 on the shot clock. Andrews takes it, slowing things down for the offense. Great pass to Fowler, and we got a block call. Hollingsworth a bit late. She wanted the charge call, but I don't think she got there in time.
I don't know.
Yeah, she was still moving.
Yeah, she was moving. That's a great call right there by Shelly Nakasone.
Alex Fowler at the line.
You know, over there, you've gotten pretty friendly with the referees back in your coaching days.
Well, you've got to be their friend.
Well, you certainly don't get any calls if you're not their friend.
No.
It's Fowler making the first free throw.
I've always felt the officials in the WCC do a really nice job.
And now some defense for offense as Keely Frawley will come back into the game.
That was Lana Hollingsworth's third personal.
Hollingsworth picked up her third personal. So Veal with 4, Nixon and Hollingsworth with 3 personal fouls. 3:40 to go in overtime. Pass to Veal. The 1-point lead. And Veal finally gets her first points in the second half off the assist from Haraki.
And that was all set up by Haraki with a nice penetration. Weak side guard just did not drop quick enough and got the nice dump down low.
Fowler fighting for position, got Veal off of her, using the glass for 2. She's got 27 points.
Super smart. They don't have the size inside to stop Fowler now.
Van Allen going up against Andrews, had to pick up her dribble. Veal with it, goes baseline. Cochran tried to go for the block, and she gets called for the foul instead. She now has 4 personal fouls.
Portland foul number 30. Lucy Cochran, her 4th personal.
Fowler's got 27 points. The last time the Pilot had 30 points was Haley Andrews with 31 back on February 27th of last year.
Well, the Van Allen and Fowler show, I mean, both of them just putting on a clinic offensively.
Veal making the free throw. Again, this is a team that shoots lights out from the line normally, almost 77%. And Veal will go 2 for 2, and she now has 15 points.
And Santa Clara is going to switch to a little bit of a zone here.
Which doesn't play into the strength of Portland. Have not shot the ball well from the outside, but if they can find those pockets in the zones, or in the zone, I should say, excuse me, it'll work out for them. Fowler getting some help with the rim. She's got 29 points.
Good patience. Nice, nice just combination inside out, and Fowler doing a nice job of getting a nice finish.
These two teams trading baskets here. A 1-point lead. Veal kicks it out to Van Allen, who's got, again, 30 points. She's been so good in the second half. Haraki goes baseline. Cochran, block!
And that was a little gutsy right there. You got 4 fouls. You don't want to pick up your 5th. Nice timing, and obviously size advantage right there for her, but
1:45 to go in overtime. Hand off to Andrews. She wants the screen from Fowler. Fowler's first 3. Oh, she hits it! A huge 3 for the Pilots. They now lead by 4.
Well, I told you in the opening, she's been adding that to her game, and that's a big one.
Nixon almost traveled there, gets it out to Van Allen. Comes inside the three-point line and hits it over Cochran, 32 points. And Van Allen and Fowler just trading blows, both of them with 32. Final minute of play here in overtime. A 2-point lead for Portland. Cochran flashing in front. Now it's to Andrews. She's at the elbow. 4 on the shot clock. Gets it out to Burnham. She's got to put up a shot. There's one. Oh, my goodness! How did she even get it off? That angle was incredible. And Burnham hits the floater to give the Pilots a 4-point lead.
We're going to take a look at it. Or there's the 3 from Fowler, but honestly, I don't think she even saw that rim on that last shot, but what a difference that's going to make here. Huge possession.
I mean, she was picking up the ball at her feet with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. I don't even know if she realized it was that low.
Yeah.
Incredible play, and now they're over at the scorer's table looking at it to make sure that she beat the buzzer. Off the initial look, I thought she had it off in time.
I did too.
With 45.6 seconds to go and a 4-point lead if this bucket stays. Here's a look at it.
We can't see the shot clock or the red lights go off, so I'm calling that good.
And now they're going behind the table to get a better look at it, as the front screen that they were looking at turned off momentarily, and now they're looking at it. And they've got the full view. Here's the wide view. Shot clock in your upper left. And she got it off.
Oh, yeah. That's not even close.
Yeah, she had at least half a second off with it.
I mean, the ball's left her hand right there. And there's 1 on the clock still.
And it's basically 1 until it gets to the hoop. So that basket's going to count. A huge one for the Pilots in Maisie Burnham.
Well, smart here because they only have 1 timeout left, so they're cashing on the fact that they're going to get a score and a stop, and then advance the ball on the second timeout that he'll take on a scored basket.
Pilots 22 of 32 from the free throw line. Both of those are season highs, and every single free throw has needed to fall for the Pilots.
Well, the biggest thing right here, Brian, is keeping the ball in front and not fouling. You do not want to pick up a cheap one. You want to make them use as much clock as possible, because Santa Clara is going to go as fast as they can to this end and get a quality shot. And if you're Portland, keeping the ball out of Van Allen's hands is a huge key.
Again, she's just been so lethal here in the second half. 20 points. Correction, 22 points in this half. And again, they're back looking at the scores table. And Ortega and Nakasone ready to go.
We're good.
So 45.6 seconds to go. Full court pressure put on by the Pilots.
Just keep them in front.
Shearer tried to go for the steal. She's got to be careful. She's got 4 personal fouls.
And you just don't want to pick up a quick one.
And send the Broncos to the line. Again, they lead this conference in free throw shots made, and that's going to go towards the Broncos.
And Cochran got a piece of that on the Van Allen drive right there. Nice little floater.
And yeah, that one looked like it went off of Fowler there. Tough take.
And they're going to take a look at it.
And another long break here with 27.3 seconds to go inside the Chiles Center.
Yeah, that went off of Fowler.
I think it went off of her left hand and then out of bounds. As the referee Nakasone checking in on us to make sure we're seeing how everything's falling into place out on the court. right?
I think the right call, and you know, you got to make sure that it's right, and taking a quick look at it is important.
Yeah, at this point in the game, can't be too correct on this with how close it is. Again, only 4 points between these two teams right now, 75-71.
There's a lot of time left. You know, they get a quick bucket and then immediately steal or foul. Free throws become another issue. And with the percentages today, you know, you can't ever count that out.
No.
So, I mean, there's still a lot of time left in the ball game.
We thought this was going to be a close one. I don't think we realized it was going to be this close into overtime. And they have said that it stays with Santa Clara.
Good job by the officials.
Yeah, taking that extra time to make sure it was correct. Meek giving out the orders to Fowler. And I think they're checking the clock now. Now that shot was blocked, so it never hit rim, so the shot clock should still be there.
So we're going to go to a timeout now.
And they're going to look it over again.
Immediate timeout.
So that'll be immediate break. You know, one of the things that this team has talked about, especially when we talked to them at the beginning of this season, is accountability. And it really falls on the players, and Alex Fowler really has the mindset for that.
We couldn't quite get the click. And then when we went to Kentucky, you know, we lost. We didn't have the best game. Vegas came back. We had 2 weeks of where Mike just went in on us, and like he just basically held us accountable for everything we did. And like we had our exit interviews, and all of us were just like, Mike, we want you to do that to us too again. Like you held us accountable, and we took action. We stepped up, and we went to Kentucky, and I think we played the best we had all season because he made us accountable. And I think that's something we need to do this year on ourselves more. But it's also nice having the coaches just be like, look, you guys could do a lot better than what you did.
All right, Jen, we heard a lot there. You played the game, you coached the game. How important is that to be accountable on yourself? Not necessarily your coach all over you, but player accountability.
Well, when your teammates are telling you something, you know, especially of importance, you listen. Not that you don't listen to coaches, I mean, but sometimes that extra voice, and it's just a little bit more valuable, you know, when your teammates are calling you out and you're taking leadership roles and maybe calling somebody out. And you know, what she said is huge. And, you know, I think that this group, you talk about, you know, Coach Meek and what he's done and the culture that they've built, is they've taken a little bit of the ownership themselves and created this, you know, situation where everybody is accountable every single day. And it seems like it's, you know, it's something that they really wanted and really needed.
Yeah, I think that's sort of been their theme all season. And again, Fowler talked about how that really changed when they went to Cleveland in that postseason tournament. And that's turned the corner here into this season.
Well, you never want to let your teammates down, regardless. And when, you know, it's important and they care about each other, and you can certainly see that in the culture that they've built.
Inbound to Van Allen. 10 on the shot clock. Pass. Partially tipped. Veal putting up a three. That one's long. Andrews, the rebound. And we got a foul. There were a couple of different Broncos there. I want to say by Nixon, number 11, and that's who they call it on. That'll be Nixon's third, and that'll lead to 2 free throws for Haley Andrews.
Well, biggest thing there is they got a decent look at it, but a great job of rebounding. They can't give second opportunities, and a great job by Andrews of going and getting the ball.
Andrews just 3 for 6 from the free throw line today, 9 points. He's got 10 assists, 7 rebounds. Got the friend roll, and now she has herself a double-double, 10 points, 10 assists. Andrews get frustrated with herself after, again, going 50% from the free throw line, but it's a 5-point lead with 17.4 seconds to go in overtime.
Well, you look at the scoring today for Portland. I mean, obviously Fowler with 32, but you got Cochran with 11, Andrews with 10, Molheim with 9, and Burnham with 8. You know, that's what they need. They need to spread it out a little bit so they have people that are contributing. And when you're hitting from the perimeter like Molheim did in the beginning, you open up things inside, and that's certainly where Portland took advantage. And Fowler's just had an extremely efficient day.
Yeah, the good bench production from the Pilots. That's something that we had talked about in the past. And Burnham getting the 8, Kai Tu'u's got 4. But that has helped go a long way. And then again, of course, the free throw line is what has really made the difference with the amount of times that the Pilots have been to the line today. Helped them get into overtime with Cochran's going 5 for 5. And now it's a 5-point lead, 17.4. Nixon wanted. Van Allen's trying to get open. Step back. Got Fowler to go by. Gives it up to Hollingsworth. They need to put up a shot. There's only 7 seconds left in the game. Van Allen drives, floater, can't get it off the glass. Andrews goes up, gets the rebound, and she'll get called for a travel.
Violation. Ball goes over to Bronco.
Well, bottom line is just they got to get it in, and Portland just needs to keep their hands off and don't foul. Just keep them in front, don't foul. Game's over.
2.2 seconds left. Yeah, there's not a 5-point play. Veal with it. She's going to put up a shot to beat the buzzer, and that'll be it. A hard-fought 5-point victory for the Portland Pilots, 76-71 inside the Chiles Center. I mean, I thought this was terrific performance. You know, Fowler came out right away. That's something that we had talked about, that she needed to get going, and she did in a hurry with 10 points, I want to say by the end of the first quarter for her.
Yeah, I mean, she came out with a tremendous effort and start. And honestly, just, I mean, that's probably the biggest game I've seen her play in her career thus far. And just, honestly, she was that kid tonight that just took it upon herself to make things happen. And I thought she had a complete game, not just on the offensive end. I thought she did some things defensively that were keys. And, you know, 2 individual performances by both teams, really, that are huge.
Yeah, Van Allen putting up those 32 points for Santa Clara. Just kept them in the entire game, but she never really got much going in the overtime period.
Yeah, she was terrific, though. I mean, so many different things. And, you know, I thought Portland did a nice job of adjusting in that overtime period and not giving her the attempts or looks at the ball. So, you know, I thought she was terrific. I mean, she struggled from the 3-point line, but any other way, man.
As we'll be talking with Alex Fowler in just a moment, and we have a moment out on the court. Maddie Molheim getting into the 1,000-point club, and now we've got Alex Fowler joining us. Alex, you had a terrific game, 32 points, 13 rebounds. We've been talking about getting you to have a quick start lately, and what led to that one today?
I'm sorry, I was just watching my team. I'm sorry. Getting FOMO, I'm not being there.
No.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah. We've been talking about having you get off to a quick start, and today you really did that in the first quarter, getting to double-digit points, and you finished with 32 points and 13 rebounds. What led to that fast start for you?
I mean, honestly, credit to our whole team. Everyone knows the plays, everyone knows what we're doing, and we're in it together. So I think...
As she keeps getting poked by her teammates heading into the locker room.
I just think that everyone on our team knows their role and know what they got to do, and we just work together so well to get the win.
I feel like the last couple games, your mentality has just been different. Have you made any adjustments just inside individually?
Yeah, I think I've kind of learned that I can't be as timid as I used to be. I just have to start playing the way I usually play and not just have a half-court game, just play for a half and not play for the other half and be silent. So I think I'm starting to step up in that a little bit more, whether it be scoring, whether it be getting boards, whatever I have to do to help my team win.
We figured this one was going to be close from the beginning. What was the message from Coach Meek as overtime started for you two?
I mean, we just didn't want a repeat of last year. You know, they're a great team. Santa Clara is a really great team. They get boards. They're a really good 3-point shooting team. And we were really worried coming into this game that we might have we went into overtime and that really scared us for a second. And I think we just stuck to the plan. And I'm not sure how many 3-pointers they got, but we really tried to limit that as much as possible.
All right, well, Alex, thank you so much for your time. Terrific game, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys.
Again, 32 points and 13 rebounds for Alex Fowler. Any last second thoughts you have, Jennifer, on today's contest?
I think she's right, what she just said there. They stuck with the plan, and that was the biggest thing. You know, they took away the three-point line. They did the things that we talked about in the Open that they needed to do and got a good team win.
It was hard fought. Free throws. Bodies hitting the deck, and big-time three-point shots from both sides. Career days from Van Allen and Fowler, but it's a 76-71 victory for the Pilots at home on the Chiles Center. We want to thank the production crew upstairs. We can't do it without you. That was Jennifer Mountain. I'm Brian Slegg. Until next time.